Yo, what's up, Bears? This is Sean, and I want to talk to you guys about what's going on with Lords of the Fallen. I really didn't want to make this video, but I think I need to now make this video. We're going to be talking about the state of the game itself with over 25 updates. I'm going to be putting on some gameplay, and on the right side, the talking points about today's post that the Lords of the Fallen developers and the whole entire people that are working on this game pretty much just told us what's going on. Well, they implemented, and I got to tell you something, it worries me. I'm not 100% in full agreement with what they have posted. And I don't usually make this type of videos, but I think it is necessary today because, one, we're talking about a Souls type of game. When this game was first released to us and catered to us, it was as a RPG, of course, but it was a Souls-like type of game. Now, I think with the continuation of the updates that they're making, this should be now the Souls-like should be removed, and it should be an RPG action game. That's it. This is going to be because a Souls-like game is supposed to be a little bit harder. Now, they made a lot of nerves, which I don't agree. And first, we're going to be talking about the playthrough about the first thing, which is going to be one in particular, which is going to be the reduced enemy density. Now, they said we have received significant player feedback of enemy density, which combined with our internal telemetry had been evaluated in our ongoing and endures to better balance difficult throughout Lords of the Fallen. Now, okay, that makes sense, right? Now, they went ahead and they said, to this end, the entire game has received an enemy density pass with a number of mobs reduced by 30 whopping percent. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And this is one thing I do not agree with them 100%. They went ahead in some of the most challenging areas. Additionally, we have removed some of the sneakiest of foes that had a tendency to creep up behind you at a very worst of the times, typically Rogar. Let's talk about this. First of all, big mistake, reducing it 30%. Reducing it. You shouldn't even have touched this. You should have left it at 0%. Why? Because the more difficult the game it is, the more better it is. Of course, I get it. I get it. There are some locations where you don't want to have too many mobs, but this is not the right way to go ahead and reduce it by 30%. You need to manage. When you play a game, you always got to manage your mobs. You got to can't go in there Rambo style and trying to think that you're going to be able to take them all. And once you guys have a pretty OP spell or a weapon, things become a little bit easier. And maybe this is more of a issue where maybe a player such as us, we don't understand how the game works. Now, that's my first point. Reduce enemy density, I don't agree. They should have had left it at 0%. And this is one of the things, besides a lot of other things that they're doing to the game, which is killing the game. And I know if you're watching these developers, you guys have made a phenomenal game. I don't disagree on that. But this updates, which is fine, 25 updates, I don't see nothing wrong with that. But where you make the game weaker, you make the game less experienceable, like where you have less experience when you're playing. It's like, put it like this, it's like when you get to your being old, like let's say you're in your 80s and 90s and you tell your grandkids this story about this and that. Well, it just pretty much lost its story. There's nothing that you can come and talk within the community. It's like, how do you defeat this? What are the best strategies? What can you do different? So that pretty much gets thrown out of the window. Next one, we're going to have the improved enemy leashing, right? It says it quickly became apparent that we had given our enemies too much freedom around the Mornstar, meaning that they would purchase pursue you a little too enthusiastically from the area to another, resulting into a further increased mob density. By improving enemy leashing, they will not supposedly are not going to follow you. Now, let's see. I kind of agree with that. Yeah, I mean 50-50 on that one. If you pass an area, they shouldn't be following you all the way to like end of the castle or anything like that. Maybe they should follow you to a certain location, which I don't disagree. Now, vestige in NG and NG Plus. At launch, it says permanent vestiges were only available in our initial playthrough, meaning you were forced to rely solely on vestige seedlings, the ones you created yourself in NG Plus throughout a vestige seeding. Used to create vestige seeding can be purchased rather than cheaply. Not to mention farm from Umbro entities, including Mama Moth. And also, we had since reinstated the majority of the permanent vestiges of NG Plus by popular demand. The number of permanent vestiges decreased with each additional level of NG Plus. However, developers continue to NG Plus customizer we have announced a few weeks ago, which will provide players the option to fully moderate their NG Plus. Okay, so I think the solution here, I kind of agree on the first point about, not pretty much taking out all the permanent vestiges, but leaving them. Maybe in a way of not maybe reducing some of the permanent vestiges where you are able to just use more of your, in this case, which is going to be the temporary vestiges, but having more drops, so you are able to create more temporary vestiges would have been an alternative solution. But yeah, I mean, that one's a toss right there. Next one is the valency and range of enemies. This is pretty much like they pretty much nerf the enemies, even if they saw you. I disagree with this. This is just catering to something more easy, and easy is never enjoyable. I mean, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below if you ever play a game and it's too easy that you get bored within, I'm not joking, 30 minutes. You're like, man, you know what? I really don't want this game anymore, and I'm just gonna put it aside and not really play it. Now, better NPC helpers. It says here that now you have your NPCs that are going to be helping you. Once again, this is a catering to making something too easy, which I disagree. I am a type of Souls player that sees it into a point where if it's going to be a Souls game, I want that challenge. I know what I'm getting into. No. And I know what I need to do to be able to expect results. Not cater it to bringing it low where the game is not going to be worth playing anymore. It's too easy. It doesn't make sense. I made a build about my God tier Radiance build, which is pretty OP. If you haven't seen it, it's in the I'm gonna pin it right here, as well as at the end of the video. But I mean, I pretty much took down that boss easy and fast with no problem. It's too easy. Now, Beast is, and this is where the boss was supposed to be buffed, but I guess that didn't happen. So now, Beasts as glass cannons. By placing enemies' postures, by attacking, kicking, and parrying, you can then stagger them with either charge or heavy attack, a kick, or a parry, ready to perform grievous strike for significant damage output for any beast, blah, blah, blah. So there I go. Once again, if you have it to where the mechanics is that you gotta make sure you're performing it in a certain way. Now, giving a bunch of options on how to do it, big no-no. If you're going to, in this case, break the posture of the enemy, and that's where you are going to do your finishing move, in other words, right? It doesn't make sense after staggering him to have a bunch of options on how to do it. It should just be one simple move where you do the grievous strike and then the significant damage output, right? It should just be one button. It should be one key on in your keyboard. It shouldn't give you a bunch of options. That dilutes. Think about it. It's like having a nice wine bottle and you drop water in it. Tell me if it makes any sense. Tell me if that makes any sense. Anyways, let's keep moving on. Now we have split PvP and PvE. This big W. You guys got me here, Lords of the Fallen developers. This is going to be something huge. The sooner and the faster you are able to split this and get this out to us, the players, the better the game is going to be. And please, please don't nerf too many things. It's just find a different way to how the mechanics works. Because sometimes the less, like I say, it's a lot better. But when you're trying to do too much, it kind of like dilutes that little, dilutes how the game is going to be. No bueno, no bueno. Now, increase boss difficulty. Now, this is what I want to talk to you guys. It says, contrary to the above, it appears that the vast majority of our players actually wanted to an increase. See, degree of challenge when it came to the bosses. It turns as well as minor tweaks to the HP damage output. We have fully overall the less challenge boss counters with additional move sets, enhanced behaviors, and move aggressive play styles. And then they want to go ahead and talk about the upcoming free content. Increase boss difficulty. I didn't feel that they had increased the boss difficulty. To me, it seemed kind of easy the way I was taking out. I was at level 160, but my build, I mean, hits like if I'm a 250, 300 level, which is crazy, right? So maybe my spells were just too OP, and or maybe the boss itself was not immune to my spells, and I was able to take him out really easy. So I think a little more work on it, but I do have a suggestion though. One of the suggestions is maybe have one particular boss that where we can go and test our builds and always go to that boss, but put it as this: make a quest for it where we are going to unlock this boss now, and we can always go there all the time we want, all the time whether we want, but we need to have a vestige, a temporary vestige to it, which is going to give us access to it, not make it a permanent, because then everyone will be able to do it, but make maybe a temporary vestige where we can go to that boss and always try our builds or try different spells or combinations of builds that we're trying to make. That would be something awesome, right? Let me know in the comment section below if you guys kind of enjoy that idea. So anyways, that is my little rant about what's going on with this stage of Lords of the Fallen. I hope they make the right moves and they don't do too much, because it's really going to kill this game. Hope you guys enjoy that, and I'll talk to you guys later, and check out more builds that I cut coming for you this week. I got one really good, which is the Umbral, right? Umbral, which is going to be a God tier build. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.